Welcome back to another episode of Mailbag Monday, where Chris and I are answering all of your questions about marketing, data, analytics. Who knows? Maybe it's a gardening question this week, but shocker, it's not. Chris, this week, Natalia asked, what are your top 3 AI tools, Christopher? So clearly that question is for you, not for me.
It depends, which is the answer. This should be answer, not Tuesday. What do you define as an AI tool?
Well, and so if I had to speculate, I'm guessing that with all of the buzz around generative artificial intelligence, chat GPT, Bard, Stable Diffusion, all the platforms that are becoming household names for marketers, I'm guessing that would be the types of tools that they're asking about. But I think in general, what I would be curious to know, Chris, because you've been working with artificial intelligence longer than most, what are the tools that are your go-tos on an everyday basis? And then I would say sort of 2 parts. What are your everyday tools? And then what are your sort of like fun experimental tools?
They're almost the same thing, actually. So the single biggest go-to tool for deploying AI in production and making it useful, and we're including classical machine learning in this, is RStudio and the R programming language. Right, RStudio and the R programming language are where 95% of the production work that I do in AI happens, because it's a programming language. So stuff like media mix modeling, attribution modeling, Google Analytics data processing, auditing instances, all that stuff is done right inside of R. And I could not do my job without it. I mean, thankfully, it's an open source project, so it's not like it's going to vanish overnight. If a company just decided that to not offer the product anymore, it would still exist. That's number one by a substantial margin. And then in the sort of the AI tool realm, the GPT family of language models is probably my generative text tool of choice, and that comes in a variety of flavors. So I do use the web interface, ChatGPT, a lot. I do also use the API a lot. Trust Insights is rolling out this coming month our first beta for paying customers of analytics analysis using the GPT models. So that that's a key tool. On the image generation side, I use Stable Diffusion. So Stable Diffusion is an open source product that I run inside of Google Colab, which again is another fantastic tool. Google Colab is a sort of a VPS, a virtual private server environment, where you pay money to Google for a certain number of hours of compute time every month, and then you can run a tool like Stable Diffusion and essentially just do whatever you want with it. Compare that to something like OpenAI's DALL-E 2, where it's like 15 cents an image. When I'm running Stable Diffusion, sometimes I want to try make 80 different variations of this image. That gets expensive real fast in a commercial product. But in Google Colab, I can say, okay, make 80 images. I'm going to go do some real work, and I'll check back in an hour and see what you came up with.
I think that's solid. I think, what's interesting to me is, I mean, I know how you work, and so I'm unsurprised by your answers, but I think that people who don't know you are probably surprised that RStudio tops the list. But it's your lifeblood. It's how you do everything. It's your default go-to. So I think that's a really good, solid, well-rounded answer, especially for people who are trying to figure out, we were just looking at, there's a generative AI on LinkedIn is constantly updating the list of AI tools that are being released. And, there's well over 100, probably a couple hundred at this point, which is going to make the MarTech 9000 spill over onto about 4 pages, because it's going to be the MarTech, 10, 11,000 pretty soon. So yeah, it's an overwhelming amount of tools. I think someone was asking when we were sharing that list in our free Slack group, Analytics for Marketers, which you can get to at trustinsights.ai/analytics for marketers. What are your top 10 tools? And I was like, that's a great question. I have no idea, because each of the tools that are coming out now are just one specific purpose. So it's like, here's your AI toolbox. Here's your hammer. It only hammers nails. Here's your flathead screwdriver. Here's your Phillips head screwdriver. But really, a lot of us are looking for, like, where's that one cool little multi-purpose tool that's going to do a lot of things, so I don't have to have, 10 tools in my stack to accomplish one task. And so it's a tricky question to answer. So I like that you're starting with our studio, which is going to do a lot of those things for you.
And here's the other thing I'll say on that front. Your top 3 tools or top 10 tools or whatever are going to be the software that you already use, right? Microsoft Office will have Microsoft Copilot. Microsoft Bing already has Bing plus GPT-4 and Bing image generation. Google Docs and Gmail are getting Google Palm. This morning, Adobe released a new version of Adobe Lightroom that has AI image augmentation for sharpening blurry and pixelated images. It's built right into the tool.
Nice.
With a lot of what's happening with software is this. Any software company that has complex software and has half a brain is going to be creating AI integrations in their software. So the top 3 tools for every profession are going to be the tools you already use if those vendors want to stay in business.
I was thinking about it, and I would say, even though I wasn't asked, I'll try to answer this question. I would say one of the top tools that I use is Otter. So Otter.ai, it's a transcription tool. And for a lot of the work that we do, for the type of work that I do for the company, I'm very reliant on it. Knowing that AI is going to be integrated right into the G Suite, that's going to be my second. Probably my first and second is the G Suite and Otter. So those are the two that, I'm the most reliant on. And, as it gets integrated into the other tools, it'll be, I already use Google Analytics all the time, and it'll, it's right in there. Google Analytics already had some level of artificial intelligence built in. In Universal Analytics, you might recall that it had that little insights in the top right-hand corner. That was powered by artificial intelligence. And so people say, well, I need to get it, I need to use it. You're already using it.
Exactly. If you use Google Maps, you're using AI, right? If you're using Gmail, the spam detection algorithms are all AI based. So it's a lot like electricity. It's everywhere. It just may not be immediately obvious all the time, and nor does it need to be in your face all the time. And the people who are yelling, "I use electricity," like that, after a while, they kind of sound silly. Like, yeah, and
it's funny because it's sort of the same thing about having a really good project or account manager. A really good manager is someone that you don't even know is there. It's the same thing with artificial intelligence. Like, it's just working in the background doing its job. You shouldn't have to go looking for it. Like, where is it? Like, it's just there. It just keeps things moving forward.
Exactly. If you've got a question you want us to answer, reach out to us. Go to trustinsights.ai/contact, or you can join our free Slack group. Go to trustinsights.ai/analyticsformarketers, where you and over 3,000 other marketers are asking and answering each other's questions every single week. And if you want to catch up on past episodes of Mailbag Monday, you can find them at our Trust Insights newsletter, trustinsights.ai/newsletter. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next time.